Our reporter Catherine Norris Trent is in Kharkiv for us. We can cross to her now. Catherine, what is the situation like in Kharkiv this morning?
Good morning. The explosions continue in Kharkiv. I've just counted 12 detonations this morning as of 8 a.m. local time. Quite loud explosions. It sounded like incoming fire. And indeed, last night there were further shellings on residential areas in different areas around Kharkiv. The local regional governor, said that at least 7 people have been killed in those and more than 30 people injured. They will be trying to dig through the rubble there and see if there are any more casualties. We know that, throughout these weeks of bombing on this city here in the northeast of Ukraine, the death toll for now stands at around 300, but the governor told us that there could be many more people stuck under the rubble. So this situation, of course, remains tense. And, we've asked people about how they feel as Russian troops appear to be withdrawing from Kiev and Chernihiv and cities in the west. And, of course, there is a fear that they could be regrouping around this area further east. Here, Kharkiv is the second largest city, a big Russian-speaking city, and several people have told me that they fear that this city could potentially become another Mariupol, and they're worried still about the threat from Russian troops. Meanwhile, the humanitarian situation remains very difficult for a lot of people in the surrounding Kharkiv area because a lot of roads have been blocked off. There's still fire. It's very dangerous for people to get around. Now it's 5 weeks into the war and some places do not have enough supplies of medicine or foods. We spoke to the regional governor of the Kharkiv Oblast and he told us about the difficulty in delivering humanitarian aid.
Every day we get almost 300 tons of humanitarian aid, including 100 tons of food, cleaning products, medicine, and our task is to deliver that to the furthest corners of the Kharkiv region. Of course, it's very difficult to deliver these goods to the occupied territories. The enemy doesn't allow for any humanitarian corridors, whether it's for supplies or for evacuations. So we have to do all that on our own.
Catherine, clearly a very challenging humanitarian situation where you are right now. Yesterday, you visited areas outside Kharkiv that have recently been retaken by Ukrainian forces. Could you tell us what you found there?
That's right. We went southeast out of the city of Kharkiv through roads which have been just recently retaken by Ukrainian forces. The carcasses of burnt-out cars that have been caught in the crossfire still on the roadside there. Burnt-out tanks in the village of Malaruhan there. There was a fierce battle with Russian forces to take back this village on the outskirts of Kharkiv. And we managed to push on further yesterday into the village of Shuhiv, a bit further on, a city which had been surrounded really by Russian forces in the regional area, and several roads there had been cutting it off. So the mayor told us that the Russian troops had made several attempts to take that city. And again, we saw the signs of devastation on the outskirts of town, of bombing, destroyed houses, huge impact holes from what looked like some pretty big missiles there, which had struck this town. And what was really striking, visiting this town of Shuhiv, we went to an underground shelter at one stage where 400 people in one building were still sheltering underground in basements where many of them have been living since the 24th of February, only rarely going outside, still too scared with the volatile situation in this area. And they told us that they need more supplies of food, that they need more aid, that they hope to be evacuated if possible into Kharkiv and then to leave Ukraine, go further west into safety. But very striking to see those people still cowering and living underground more than 5 weeks into this conflict now.
Catherine Norris Trent reporting live there from Kharkiv, Ukraine's second largest city. Thank you very much.